what should be my priority. So I'm going to talk in this video about the priority you can follow, which is the suggested priority. Prioritization is according to the weightage of the independent questions from these chapters, but entire math is interconnected. Hello aspirants, how are you all? I hope you are all fine and healthy and preparing very well for your JEE 2025 attempt. I'm sure that many of you are now at the point where you have started revising and started practicing with mock test and different type of test papers and started solving the previous year questions. Now, one major question which all of you might have in your minds is that what should be my priority? So I'm going to talk in this video about the priority you can follow, which is the suggested priority in mathematics, so that it can ease and fasten up your preparations for JEE 2025 attempt. So let's look at some chapters. Now, priority list does not mean that you have to do these chapters first, exactly these chapters first, then the second priority chapters and the third priority chapters. No, the general recommendation is that you have to keep a hold on all the chapters that are covered in mathematics. But again, there can be a strategy. The strategy is to follow a priority while revising. So that priority list I can give you as per my suggestions. Now in the first priority, now this priority which we are talking about is according to the weightage of the chapters in our JEE Mains and Advanced. So according to weightage, we can set a priority list. So in the first priority, I have kept the chapters vector and 3D, definite, indefinite, not indefinite, definite integration and differential equations, then application of derivatives, permutation, combination and probability, sequence and series, binomial theorem, matrices, determinants and your entire coordinate geometry. So these chapters should come in your first priority. First cover these up. Now obviously here I am not saying that this is the exact, that first start with vector and 3D, then a definite integration, or not exactly like this. This is the first priority. You can choose up any chapters. For example, over here some chapters are standalones. For example, sequence and series and binomial theorem are the very first chapters of class 11, and you don't need much of other concepts, other chapters for doing these particular chapters. But to cover these chapters also, there are some prerequisites. There are some prerequisites. What is the prerequisite for covering these chapters also? First prerequisite is we should be very good with basic trigonometry. Ratios, identities, equations. You should be very good with your basic trigonometry at least. So without basic trigonometry, you cannot go ahead with any of these chapters. Most of the questions which are going to come from these chapters also will involve your basic trigonometry. This is your prerequisite. Then functions, obviously you need to know your standard functions. Standard functions is a must. Without that also you won't be able to go ahead with these chapters, most of these chapters. So it's not like you can directly start with these chapters. Some prerequisites are there. So I'm assuming that as you are on the point of revision, you will have these prerequisites already. Standard functions. Then for AOD and some of the chapters here, you will need differentiation, standard differentiations, chain rule, product rule, implicit functions. Those things you need for doing AOD itself. Applications of derivatives is a high weightage chapter. So for doing the high weightage chapters also, you cannot completely ignore the other chapters. Some prerequisites are going to be there. For example, for definite integration and differential equation, you will need again standard integration. Standard integration and the rules you will need to know for even doing a simplest question of definite integration or differential equation. So yes, keep in mind that you must have revised or you must have a good hold on the prerequisites for doing the first priority high weighted chapters also. But definitely you can give your first priority to these chapters, as these chapters independent, not independently, togetherly will involve somewhere around 50 or 60 marks. 50 plus marks can be obtained if you are able to master these chapters. But again, to master these chapters also, you need some prerequisites. So please follow these prerequisites first. First check yourself that I'm good at these, then start revising. So I'm assuming that you must be good at these at least to cover up your high weighted chapters. Few chapters like sequence and series, binomial theorem, matrices and determinants, these are not sequence and series, okay, a bit tricky, but very first chapter of your class 11 where no other concepts are involved, so you can start with this. Then binomial theorem you can do, matrices and determinants together have high weightage in your JEE exam, so cover this up, this is not that difficult. Coordinate geometry, again straight lines and circles first, more weightage is from straight lines and circles, then your parabola, hyperbola, ellipse and other things will come, other conics will come after straight lines and circles. So first master straight lines and circles in coordinate geometry. Entire coordinate geometry has high weightage, but there also you can prioritize your straight lines and circles. Vector and 3D, very good, not that difficult of the chapters also, you won't take much of time for covering up vector and 3D and high weightage chapter, so cover this up, right. So now for integration, application of derivatives, permutation and combination, right, permutation and combination you'll require for probability also. These two chapters if you can master, this will give you a good score, definitely a good score. Okay, so this was about the first priority. Now second priority means after doing these, second priority again refers to less weightage according to JEE exam. Now functions, independent questions of functions are less likely to be asked. Independent questions, standard functions will be used everywhere throughout your mathematics, definitely. So functions you can keep, entire functions or all the concepts of function you can keep for the second priority, but standard functions you should know for even going with the first priority chapters. Then comes sets and relations, easy chapter, you can easily do it and you should cover it up because second priority chapters are going to give you 30 plus marks. These chapters will involve 30 plus marks. Statistics over here, very important chapter, questions can be asked from this, you can get good score if you have command over statistics also, and you don't need to know much of the other things for doing statistics. Rest of the chapters are also easy. Limits, differentiation, differentiation means methods of differentiation, again for first priority chapters you'll need this, right. Basic knowledge of differentiation you'll need, standard differentiation or methods you'll need for doing the first priority also, but independent questions of differentiation will be kept in second priority. Quadratic equation, you are doing quadratic equations from class 9, so this you will be able to study very easily, don't worry about it. So limits, quadratic equations, statistics, sets and relations, second priority but easy chapters and good weightage, not as much as the first priority chapters but still good weightage. Now what should we keep in the end? In the end I would say you can keep these chapters, complex number, indefinite integration questions are least likely to be asked. Trigonometry, ITF independent questions are less likely to be asked, but trigonometry again I would say you need your trigonometry to be very strong for the entire mathematics because they can involve trigonometry anywhere in any question, you never know. So basics of trigonometry, equations, ratios, right, standard formulas you should be very good at to cover up good in your first priority chapters also. Then complex numbers you can put in the third priority, keep it for the end. If you have not done now, then also you can keep it for the end. Continuity and differentiability, you'll need these in AOD as well as your integration chapters, but still independent questions of continuity and differentiability won't be needed. So no need to research or study these thoroughly right now. Keep them you can keep them for the third priority. So this is again I would say that prioritization is according to the weightage of the independent questions from these chapters, but entire math is interconnected. So basic knowledge of all the chapters is going to be required. So study well, but while revision you can keep this priority list in your mind, which will help you a lot, save a lot of your time and will not allow you to get too much stressed about your chapter categorization or prioritization. Let me know in the comment section that whether you are able to follow this priority, you can follow this priority, any other suggestions if you want to give, anything, please let me know in the comment section. Do not forget to like the video if you liked it and subscribe the channel for watching more such videos. Thank you.